Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Harriet.
And I'm Keenan, and today we'll be giving you a tour of Exeter Maths School.
Thank you. Here is the courtyard where you can usually find students before school, during school and after school. And we have, as we're in Great Britain, we have a very good shelter to keep us dry. And then we have the bike shelter, which is very good for those of you with an active commute. But I've got to rush off for a lesson now, so I'll leave you.
In this part of the courtyard we have two table tennis tables, which are extremely popular. You can normally find people playing here, break time, lunchtime, and even in free periods.
And if you'll come this way, we'll come to the student entrance. And here is a place where you can store your bags and where people in accommodation can store them before they get their train and after they've arrived. If we go this way, we'll come to the student kitchen where we've got 2 microwaves and a fridge and even instant hot water for your pot noodle. And if we go this way, we'll come to Dame Jocelyn Bell-Burnell, and this is our second physics room that we can come in during our free time to study or even just relax.
And now we'll go through to Johnson, which is our meeting room. We have currently 3 student council students in here, Jack, Rhiannon and Katie. So student council reps are voted in by their tutor groups every year. So these guys have just been voted in, so they're kind of getting to grips with it. This meeting room you can book out if you need it, and it's also quite often free as like a quiet space, which is quite nice. And in this area we have quite a few lockers, as you can see. At the beginning of the year you'll have an opportunity to rent out a locker for a year. You pay £5 and you get this space for the whole year. People often store hot drinks in them or just like coats and bags that they don't want to drag around the school all day. We also have our 2 toilets here. One of them also has a shower if you need it for an active commute.
If we go this way, we'll come to Bose, our main physics room, where there is currently a lesson going on.
Receive additional further energies more of them become free, and therefore N has increased, the free electron density has increased, you get more current for a given potential difference, resistance drops. In the case of the diode...
So as you'll see, this room is kind of split into 2 sections. We have this part which is used for practical activities and like lab things, and that part is used for recapping theory. Currently they're talking about drift velocity and resistivity.
We go back through this way. Okay, and if you'll follow us, we'll take you to the ground floor.
So this room here, Nightingale, is our first aid room, named after Florence Nightingale, who you probably know about, although a lot of people don't realise that she was actually a very skilled statistician. And if you follow me, we'll go into Hilbert. This room is our school library. You can take books out on trust, so and also just come in here for a quiet space just to study, so it's reserved for if you want to get down to doing homework or revision.
If we come this way, we'll come out to reception. Here we have our lovely receptionist Tor, who always greets us with a smile in the morning.
Hi, hello.
And just across, we have the staff room, where if you can't find a teacher in their lessons, they're probably here. Here we have Ed and Fiona.
And next, this is Fermat, one of our maths rooms. So there's currently an extra pure maths lesson in here where they're learning about group theory. And as you might have noticed, these walls are basically all a whiteboard, but it's also just a division. So we often will just take this divider out and just have one massive room, which is useful for assemblies.
On the other side of the whiteboard, we have WILES, which is currently being used as a physics room for more space during practicals. But its main use is opening up so we can have assemblies or large gatherings. You might be able to notice a piano in the back, which many of our students use to practice or just show off. Now if we'll come this way, we'll come to the stairwell where we can go up to the first floor. I've got a lesson now, so I'm going to head off, but I'll leave you in the capable hands of Harriet.
And here's Ryan, so at least I won't be completely on my own. Here we have our lift, which has access to all of the floors for those who can't use the stairs. Yeah.
And now we're going to follow me. Here we have a Year 12 computing lesson working on making battleships in Python. Even if you don't take computing, you will have to learn how to program within the first term as part of preparing for the Exeter Mathematics Certificate, which we call EMC because that's quite a long name.
And now we'll go into Poincare, which is another maths classroom. This is currently a Year 13 core maths class and they're learning about proof by induction. As you can see, there's another whiteboard wall which would normally be used by the students for collaboration work. At the moment all the desks are facing forwards, but that's not normally what it's like. At EMS we encourage collaboration when we're working. But for COVID it's safer like this for now. As you can also see, all of our rooms are named after mathematicians, and often on the walls we'll have inspirational quotes. So that's the one from Poincare.
So as we have 4 teaching classrooms on this floor, we've got 2 more to show you. So in here we have Covalescia, or Cove, and this shows that all teaching rooms also double up as social spaces when they're not in use, and this one's quite popular and it's currently in use for a Year 12 statistics lesson.
You can compare here, we have a spread.
And then the last room, Descartes, is both a maths and a computer science room. Currently we have Year 12s in here for a lesson on maths, but also as you can see we have lots of laptop banks, and all of these laptops are free for students to use, and often they're used for EMC and for computer science lessons.
And there is just that little bit of me that can't actually remember which way it's done in the formula book, because both are perfectly acceptable. Okay? Anybody else want to question any lines?
And now we'll go on to the top floor.
And here we have some of our smallest teaching rooms. Because this used to be an old Edwardian house, the class sizes are quite small.
Guesses on the low side tended to have a larger distance than guesses on the upper side, and that's called negative.
And then over here we have a Year 13 core lesson.
And now we'll go across to the last part of the building. You can see here, earlier we mentioned EMC, and as part of the programme you have to produce a poster of your research. So this is like the very first EMC poster from the first cohort of the school. There's also an office that we'll go and show you around. I'd also like to introduce Susie, who will tell you about what she does.
Thanks, Harriet. Hello, my name's Susie Catling and I'm the admissions coordinator here at the Maths School, and I also look after student outreach, so some of you may have come across me before. I'm basically your central point of contact throughout the whole admissions process, which does go on for a year, so you'll have a lot to do with me between now and when you join us. So for any admissions queries, please just come to me. See you soon.
And now I'm going to interrupt an important meeting in the head teacher's office. So here we have Kerry, the head teacher, in her office. We have Liam, one of the 3 triplets, and the assistant head. We have Joe, our deputy head, and Nicola, our business manager.
And this next room is our finance office. So here's where you go to ask about travel passes or bursary schemes. And following on from that, this is Joe's office, and Joe is, you've already met him, but he's head of pastoral care. So here's where you come if you need to ask him anything or just have a chat. And in passing, here's another EMC poster. We're very proud of our EMC programme, as you can probably tell.
And this is the end of the tour. So this is Poincare Room, where you can just come and chill out, and there should always be a member of staff in there if you need to talk to anyone. So we hope you've enjoyed, and goodbye.
Bye.